Today we're going to lead with thought management, and right. So obviously it's a big area. Okay. So it's just about a few minutes of theory, if you like, which is really important, and then we are just going to sit or lie with our own thoughts for a few minutes. Okay. And there's a purpose to this exercise. You'll not need a pen or paper unless you've a really bad memory. But we're going to sit just with ourselves for a few minutes after I talk a wee bit just about thought management, okay? And the importance of thought management is critical to not just stress management, but self-development. I started 4 years ago when I started to research all of this. Really, people think they have an emotion and that doesn't come out of anywhere. Or that you have an emotion and then you have thoughts around that emotion. It's the other way around, okay? You will have an emotion, but it is a thought or a series of thoughts, or something has triggered a thought that leads to that emotion. And you might experience this first as an emotion, or you might even experience this as a physical reaction in the body, okay? So everything comes from our thoughts, and not necessarily our conscious thoughts. It can be our subconscious, but more than likely our unconscious. So I think the last time we talked a bit about driving and how you can drive from A to B, and you get to B and you don't even remember or consciously know how you got there, okay? Because you are operating out of your unconscious, all right? So there's a lot of stuff buried in our unconscious, even from before we were born, okay? Not even from before we were conceived, but before we were even born, if you believe that we are spirit, okay? So people who tend to have mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, trauma, PTSD, and all the rest of it, find it tough to sit with themselves. And certainly that's the way I was when I had anxiety. I did not want to sit down with myself, okay? And now there's nothing I like better than sitting down with myself, because I've trained myself in terms of thought management, and we're going to be doing a wee bit of that today as well as other things, okay? So the first exercise today is we get 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, okay? So obviously not all of those are in your conscious mind. Some of them are in your unconscious, and some of them are in the subconscious, okay? But we are going to sit with ourselves now, okay, for a couple of minutes, just in a silent meditation. I want you to close your eyes, and you can start your breathing, okay? So just breathing in and out through the nose to relax. You can start your breathing. Again, just bringing your awareness to the third eye that's located between the eyebrows. And I just want you to sit with yourself, and I want you to notice now what thoughts are coming up for you, okay? And then you might want to share them in the chat later on, and it could be, oh my God, this is ridiculous, or it could be, I have so much to do today, or what am I going to get for the dinner? Whatever it is, I want you to sit for a couple of minutes now, just with our minds, observing your thoughts and what thoughts we're having. And if you need to get comfortable or more comfortable or lie down, that's okay. Just keeping your awareness in the center of the forehead, just observing our thoughts. Just bringing your awareness slowly out of our meditation. And if anyone wants to share any thoughts they had there or what they noticed. So I had a half-hour yoga class this morning, so my mind's pretty calm, but I could hear the heating and then I could hear the birds outside. So when I'm busy and when my mind is busy working or concentrating or something or focusing on whatever I'm working on, I wouldn't hear the birds outside. But just sitting for a couple of minutes there, I was able to, the mind was pretty calm, like I say, but I was able to focus in on the sounds in the house and then the birds singing. Now, some of your minds might have been very, very busy, okay? Maybe they were very, very busy, as I said, with what's going on in your life or what you need to do or what's happening. If we were to practice this consistently, you'll be able to go into a state of calm at the very end, okay? And more quickly. Now, if anyone wants to share what thoughts they had or if their minds were busy, just do so in the chat function, okay? Why we sit with ourselves or practice, I suppose the common sort of in thing at the minute is mindfulness. And mindfulness is being aware of the mind or being conscious of how it's talking to us, what it's saying to us, how it's influencing us and guiding us, you know, at every moment of the day, which is a pretty hard thing to do, okay? But it's being aware of that self-talk within the head, okay? So over the next week, I want you to start to acknowledge or be aware of recurring thought patterns. Violet did a counting meditation and had no thoughts, none that you're aware of. Violet, maybe some going on in the subconscious, just that we're not aware of. But yes, a counting meditation, any of those meditations, your mind is working when you're still doing that, because obviously you are doing something, so you're engaging the mind, okay? Let's see, really, mind was really empty at the start, and then saw a tunnel stretching out from the mind's eye, which was lovely, and then thoughts about the meeting at 1. Okay, good. When we do this later on today, I want you all to sit with yourselves and not do anything. okay? Don't even do a counting meditation. The tunnel was lovely, by the way. And if you keep your focus at your third eye there, you know, you'll see the colors, start to see the colors on your own the more you practice, and then the white light, which is pure consciousness, okay? But later on, when we do it again for about 3 minutes, don't do anything, okay? Just sit and be with yourself. It takes about, I just see a big thing of toothpaste here, lovely, on my t-shirt. Ignore that. It takes about 20 minutes for us to get in. Kelly's thinking that she won't be able to get all done today. So the couple of minutes, Kelly, that you took to yourself to relax, you probably got more stressed out as you started to think, yes, about your to-do list. It takes about 20 minutes, guys, to get in behind the active brain, okay? So we have the active mind, but in behind that is a place of absolute peace and calm and tranquility where there is absolutely nothing, okay? Now, we're going to do it. So we're going to do a longer, quiet meditation shortly. And at the end of the class, we are going to do, say, about a 10 or a 12 minute. 20 minutes might be too long on Zoom, okay? But we'll do a longer 10 to 12 minute, just being with ourselves, silent meditation. But Kelly, and anyone there had thoughts about, yes, that is what happens when we sit down to meditate. That is typically what happens for the first number of minutes. You start to think about all the things you need to do. You start to think about, you know, I would think about, have I locked the door? You know, what about the dog? Have I put enough coal on the fire? And all the rest of it. But after a certain period of time, usually it's only 20 minutes, you get to that place behind the noise and the chatter of the mind. And that's also when the mind is quiet, the place where the inspiration lies and intuition, okay? And where we're able to hear our intuition, okay? Our internal voices, like our soul, our intuition, maybe for those of you who are psychic or slightly psychic, you know, your spiritual voices and all the rest of it. So over the course of the next week, I want you, this is self-development work or a tool, I want you to become aware of recurring thought patterns that you have, okay? So recurring thought patterns that you have. We all have one or two, maybe three thought patterns that recur for us. Maybe it's around something that has happened to us in life, okay? There isn't anybody who has not had or experienced a traumatic event or incidents in their life, okay? There isn't anybody, all right? And it's that traumatic incident that can cause PTSD. So it could be a car accident, it could be the loss of someone, which triggers anxiety or depression, okay? Life changes can do that. So really, there is no one that hasn't experienced anything like that, okay? And we're told to get on with it and to get over it. And that's not how it works, okay? We have to process it. And one of the ways to process it is until we process it, it keeps recurring and recurring and recurring as thought patterns. So over the course of the next week, I want you to become aware of the thought patterns that you are having, okay? Now, I want you then to think about, you probably, if you're going to acknowledge this to yourselves, whatever that thought pattern may be, for some people it can be disturbing, okay? That maybe they've had counselling in the past for it, but the thought pattern is still occurring. I want you to think of your thought box, and after this wee bit then we're going to do a longer silent, just being with ourselves. I want you to think about your thought boxes, and I want you to put your thoughts, that thought pattern, into a thought box, okay? So your thought boxes are real. So are these thoughts real? Are they real? Are they perceived? So if they're not real, they're perceived. So you perceive this to be the case about either yourself or someone else or a situation. Are they perceived? Doesn't mean it's true. Maybe your thoughts are true. Maybe this thought process that you have keeping occurring is true. Maybe it's an obsessive. Maybe it's an obsessive thought pattern. So maybe you have a recurring thought pattern that actually is obsessive and leads to obsessive actions or obsessive behaviors. Okay. But it's good to do this work so that at least right, that's what that thought pattern is, and then you can start to work on breaking it, okay? Because you're going to want to break it, because if it's causing suffering, mental suffering, then you're going to want to break it, okay? And then obviously most of the recurring thought patterns that we have that we need to deal with are negative, okay? If anyone out there has recurring thought patterns that are positive, good, feel free to share them. It takes training for us to have recurring thought patterns that are positive, okay? Now, why do we need to do this work? Our thoughts affect our emotions, which then affects your actions and your behaviors. So if you had an incident in your early life where you suffered, for example, the loss of a lover, a partner, that might influence you in two ways as you get older. You might decide that I am not going through that pain and suffering again, and therefore I'm going to stay on my own all my life. So the thought patterns have emotions and then associated actions with those. And then the reverse could happen. You could look upon that as a loving experience that you had, and yes, we encountered loss, but I could have that experience again, and therefore you do enter into a relationship. So that's an example. Now, in terms of our to-do list, so people there, when we started to sit down and to think about ourselves and to be with ourselves, we all do it. We all absolutely, it's the to-do list that springs to mind, okay? The other thing that can cause stress are those thoughts that we can't let go of, that are chronic and lasting, okay? And those can cause stress in the body. So everything that we've been doing all along, the lovely self-care modalities and techniques, okay, they have all been about rebalancing the body, a holistic approach to the body and mind, okay, trying to disseminate and dismiss some of those emotions that we've been storing in the body. But now we're starting to drill down into our actual thought patterns and thought behaviors that are causing us stress, okay? So one thing that causes me stress is because I tend to be an organized person, and if such and such is happening at 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, if that changes, that can cause me stress. So over the years, I am learning myself and working on myself too. Oh, well, if that changes, it gives you an hour to do something else or to take time out, etc., etc. So there are two major types of stress. And after this, we're going to do another short exercise. There is your acute stress, okay, which could be, a change of plan, a job interview, usually one-off events. Somebody drives out in front of us, our fight and flight mode comes on, okay, and that's acute stress. Chronic stress builds up over time. That is what we are seeing more and more now, especially during the pandemic, but even before the pandemic. There are more cases now and it's heightened, but before the pandemic, the chronic stress levels have been pretty high, okay? Some of the known stressors in life, and again, this is to be aware of it, because if you are aware, okay, these are my stressors, this is what's going to make me stressed, you can plan for that. Some of the external stressors are life changes, your environment, unpredictable events, workplace and social, okay? And in the pandemic, all of those factors have been present as external stressors, okay? We'll get on to internal stressors after the next exercise. We'll just do a wee bit about internal stressors, and then we're going to do the lovely Japanese hand acupressure. It's a lovely, lovely one, okay? So it's not all theory today, but at week 5, it's useful to do some of this work so that you can understand why we're doing the rest of it, okay? And in the second course, this is week 5, next week's week 6, and we'll start right away. We're going to do more work on the subconscious and the unconscious, okay? All right, so I want you to get comfy again. Or the screen is freezing. Ooh. All righty, let me just switch to G, okay? As I've switched to 4G there. Someone's screen was freezing, so maybe it's a wee bit better now. And if you're using Wi-Fi, or bad weather where you are can affect the Wi-Fi, switch to 4G, guys, might help, okay? So let's get comfy again. And we're going to do a longer meditation this time. We're going to do 4 to 5 minutes, okay? You're going to sit with yourself. You're going to sit with yourselves. Don't do anything, okay? Don't count. Don't do anything. I want you just to relax and just lie back, and I'll talk you into it. And then we're going to sit with ourselves for about 5 minutes. Just getting comfy, lie back in your chairs there, or lie back on your mat, or if some of you are in the bed, that's okay. Closing your eyes, just bringing your awareness again, just to your third eye. Don't worry about your breathing. We will do some breathing exercises later on. Don't worry about the breath. Just relaxing the forehead, the cheeks and the jaw. Even let the jaw hang open. Let your tongue hang heavy in the mouth. Letting your whole body relax, shoulders, upper arms, forearms, backs of the hands. Let your whole body get heavy. Upper back and lower back. Relax the chest, heart and lungs and the tummy. Pelvis, bum, thighs, calves, heels and toes. And we're going to sit now, letting your thoughts come and go. Remember, your mind's like a busy train station with the thoughts coming and going. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to move. We're not going to engage the brain in any shape or form. You're just going to sit with your mind. starting to bring our awareness back into the room. So how did you get on, guys, with that longer silent meditation? I started to notice a tweak in my back. Okay, so that distracted me. All right, so it's hard to do the completely silent meditation. Okay, you probably had, again, maybe some thoughts, or you wanted to jump up and do things. Okay, it is harder to do the completely silent meditation and be still and be with ourselves. I could send myself off to sleep here very quickly. If anyone wants to share how they got on with that longer silent meditation, feel free. And I'll just talk a wee bit before we do our lovely Japanese hand acupressure. I will talk a wee bit just about our internal stressors. Okay, so the external stressors, sometimes it's useful to sit down and name both your internal and your external stressors. Okay, the internal stressors tend to be buried deeper, harder to identify, and more resistant. We are more resistant to working on them. Okay, there can be ego resistance to our internal stressors. The Oak one on a Tuesday night, you need to register with the Oak, and okay, there are spaces, so you need to register with the Oak. Okay, so there's Kelly, the headache is going now. Yes, good. There's Granahan District Women's Group. Notice my breathing getting deeper, slower, louder when thoughts came focused on third eye. Very pleased with that. Good. Yes, guys, it just takes practice. Okay, and there are going to be some days when it's really, really hard to meditate, and I'm not saying that you would do meditation, you know, on those days. When you do meditation is on all those other days, so that when the days are hard, okay, and we all have hard days in life, when the days are hard, that you have some tools at your disposal, that you know what is happening, that all of this will pass, the day or the worries or the fears or whatever. Okay, but that's good. This just takes practice, guys. Okay, and you know, Einstein used to say that the solutions to the mathematical and physics equations that he worked out, that they did not come to him when his mind was busy and he was trying to solve them. They came when his mind was quiet. I mean, he practiced meditation. Okay. Okay, some of the internal, and these can be deeply buried. Guys, if you keep a journal or you do some writing exercises, you don't have to share these. Okay, some of the internal stressors, and these are more likely to come from your fears, come from your unconscious. Okay, so your fears. All right, we all have fears. We pick up all of these things when we're children, and we bury some of them. Okay, and they're deep within our unconscious. Sometimes they come out in our dreams, and if you're into dream recording and interpretation, you can work this out for yourself. Lack of control. Okay, our beliefs, so what we have been taught or told, and all those things we did not work out for ourselves, but we were taught or told by church, state, society, etc. I'm not saying they were all bad, but you know, they weren't ours. They necessarily, you know, we didn't make a choice to come to a lot of this stuff. It was, we were brought to it, and then later on we might have decided to stay or not. And then of course our thoughts. Okay, so we're working on our thoughts today. Like I say, in the second course, we'll be working more on fears, belief, and control, okay, and other internal stressors, all right, which exist in the conscious and the subconscious. Now, 10 ways to manage stress, okay? Meditation has been proven by research to be as effective as antidepressants, okay? Now, I'm not saying anyone on antidepressants run out and throw them in the bin. Obviously, don't do that, okay? But meditation has been proven to be as effective as antidepressants. The other thing is when groups of people meditate together, it has had a profound effect. Meditation with purpose has had a profound effect, for example, on a violent crime, reducing it in areas, death rates, improvements in health, all of those things, okay? Meditation is very, very, very powerful. Breathing deeply. So yes, I'm not sure who it is there from the Granahan and District Women's Group, but yes, the more you meditate and just sit with yourself quietly and silently, you will notice that you start to deep breathe, okay? Just don't do it down the phone. That was the whole rage in the 1980s. So breathing deeply. And what's happening there is when you meditate, your brain waves start to change, okay? So you move from the active brain waves to the calming, slower brain waves. You're not sleeping. There's a different brain wave for your sleeping, but it's sort of like between, you're still conscious, but it's between alertness and sleeping, okay? Your brain waves are starting to change. The meditation is very, very powerful, okay? Being present, okay? So these are 10 of your stress reductors. Being present. And that's why I teach people, particularly a silent meditation. It's not the only way to meditate by any means. You can have walking meditations, you can have mindfulness walks and all the rest of it. But your silent meditation allows you to be present, okay? So, for example, I'm trying to buy a house at the minute, and my fearful mind and brain is telling me, why is this taking so long? It's 14 weeks. The bank hasn't released the deeds. What is going on? Is the person pulling out? Is that it? And all of that is completely and absolutely just manufactured in my head, okay? So when I sit down and meditate about it, the true nature of the situation reveals itself to me, okay? So we're going to do at the end here a 10-minute meditation. For those of you who have to-do lists, this is going to friggin' kill you, okay? But I want you to practice reaching out. So when my head, for example, around this situation, when my head starts to do its somersaults around, you know, F's sake, what is going on? You know, when the ego kicks in then and you blame everybody. And the lazy bank workers won't go in and release the deeds and all the rest of it because they're working from home. Reaching out and again, talking to someone is one of your stress reductor tools, okay? Tuning into the body. So you do that in your body scans. We did it really quickly there where we were like, you know, relax the forehead, noticing how we're feeling. Decompressing. Okay, decompressing. In the olden days, they used to throw, if someone was having panic attacks, they used to throw a bucket of cold water over people. Okay, that does have the effect of shocking you into reality. Another nice way to decompress is just take a nice hot face cloth or towel and put it on the back of your neck, okay, or on your forehead if you're feeling stressed. It's a nice decompression technique. A cold shower also still has that effect of bringing us into reality. So when the mind is playing tricks with us about reality, have your cold shower, okay? Laughter is, of course, one of the great stress reductors. Cranking up the tunes. So, you know, get out into the car, go for a drive, put the windows down, put the music up full blast. Moving and exercise, okay? Obviously, a stress reductor. And of course, any mind body coordination exercises such as Tai Chi, yoga, there's some in Pilates, okay, where you're doing a number of those things at once. So you might be doing your breathing at once, and you know, you're doing your movement. You might be doing some awareness. You might be doing some meditation as you're moving, okay? 10 simple, commonsensical things, okay? But the most powerful of them all is the meditation, okay? So now we're going to finish with a 10-minute meditation. So before we do that, I want us to just do the wee Japanese hand acupressure. It's a simple one, but it's very, very lovely, okay? All right, let me just find it here. You don't need a hand cream for this, but if you have one and you like to treat yourself, then do use it, okay? Okay. All right, so just do the wee hand acupressure here if I could find it. Great. Okay, so this is a Japanese acupressure a sequence that I found, and it's quite nice because it's a very, very linear sequence, so you can't really go wrong with it, okay? So I want you to take your left hand, okay? The left hand, and see in this model, the foot is on the big thumb. So usually it's the head, but the foot is on the thumb, okay? And just give the foot there, so apply some pressure to the foot, okay? And then we're going to come to the middle finger, and the top of the middle finger here is the face. And of course, one of the places that I would hold tension and stress is in the face, the cheeks and the jaws. So just the middle finger there, the top of the middle finger for the face in this Japanese model. And I would hold tension there in the cheeks and the jaw and the face. Okay, my face would get really tight and the muscles of the face would tense up. So that's how I would know that I am tense or stressed. Thankfully, you know, not so bad now. But of course, you're always going to have days where you're stressed. Next week, we're starting off with the Indian head massage, guys. So if anyone can't reach up or whatever, if it's possible, maybe to get somebody in to help you next week. If anyone just has trouble, you know, mobility-wise, getting your hands up to your head and to the neck. So guys, on this model, I want you just to walk down the middle finger for the lungs, okay? And I find this particular model fascinating because they have the lungs here, right? But because I have asthma, when I do walk down the lungs there of the middle finger, I can feel the, it's not like salt deposits that you'd feel in reflexology. It's more like, how would I describe it? It's kind of like resistance bands in underneath the skin, okay? It's kind of like you're going down ruts. That's what it feels like, going down ruts. So I like this one because it's a linear model. And then we're going to come to here, just the top of the middle finger. And that is the gullet and the heart, okay? The gullet and the heart. Just the top of the middle finger. And just give that, apply pressure there. This is a wee acupressure chart, the Japanese one. Good. And then coming straight down to about there, okay, where that line intersects. Anyone interested in palmology, that's another one. Just press there for, again, the stomach and the gullet, okay? The stomach and the gullet. It must have been a man come up with this one. You know the way they say the route to a man's heart through his stomach, because they have the stomach sorry, the gullet and the gullet and the heart there, and then the stomach there. Just a wee joke in case there's any of the men watching. So just all the way down, coming all the way down there, pressing down there from the middle end of the middle finger. Apply good pressure. Don't be shy. All the way down for. So today is quite theory heavy, okay, but we've had 4 nice classes and another nice one next week, and we do have to cover the theory as well, guys, okay? And anywhere again you have tenderness, anywhere you have tenderness, just press on it, walk it up and down. Ah, fantastic. I don't mean fantastic that you have gastric problems and that is sore, Anne, but should you massage it? Yes. So that's what I'm talking about. You most definitely should massage it because you're stimulating the tummy to work more efficiently, okay? So, and the point in the lungs, that's where I'm saying that I have the tenderness and I feel like you're going down ridges. Yes, absolutely. This is what we're doing. We are stimulating, similar as to reflexology. You're stimulating there the system to work more efficiently, okay? So just you're coming down from the gullet all the way down again through the stomach. And then I want you to come down to the center of the hand here. And I want you just to go across the hand. Anywhere there's tenderness, massage it out, okay? So if you still feel it there in the tummy, you keep massaging there. So now all the way over is from your kidney right across your bowel, your large intestine, and your pancreas. And now I'm feeling it a wee bit in the pancreas there. Ooh. All right. So all the way across is to your kidney, the bowel and this large intestine, and your pancreas. Oh, so again, I'm feeling it there in the point for the pancreas. So apply your pressure. Yeah, good. And then coming back to the center of the hand again, coming down is your adrenal glands, the small intestine, the bladder, the reproductive system. So all the way down in a line is the small intestine, the bladder, the reproductive system, all the way down, okay? So down here into, all right, so down here into the base of the hand, okay? Down here into the base of the hand, all right? So if you're hormonal, okay? If you're hormonal, you might feel it there, okay? In terms of tenderness, you will know it, okay? And then we'll do the other hand real quick, and then we're going to finish with our deep meditation. And guys, just keep massaging. Go back to anywhere there that you are. Feeling any tenderness, okay? And if you need to know where it is again before we do the other hand, just message me there. So I know I sent the workbook to Anne-Marie and Paula there at the start of the course, but I have updated it. Okay, it's updated. I'm just still working out there on the wrist up to the hand there, just for the reproductive system, for I can feel it again. It feels like ruts. So I'm still adding more to the workbook, so I will update it because I have to update it for a few other groups as well, and I'll send it around. I'm updating it at the minute, and I'll send it to Paula and Anne-Marie for the start of the next session, so after next week, okay, because I want to include some of these into it. All right, let's just do the other hand real quick, guys, the right hand, and then we will do our longer meditation. So as I was saying there, see, for the longer meditation, if you have time and you know you're going into your meditation or whatever, oh, that's great, Anne. Thursday's you time, good woman. I'm just going to stop the class at 1 o'clock, so I'm not going to say right, it's 1 o'clock now and we're going out of it, okay? You know, you just stay there, and if some of you can stay for your full 20 minutes or longer, do, okay? All right, we'll quickly do the other hand, okay? So the foot, and the face, the middle finger, the top of the middle finger. So remember, in this one, it's down the middle finger all the way to the wrist and pretty much across, okay? So just doing the face. And then coming down here again, just coming all the way down the middle finger for the lungs, the bronchial tube, the lungs, the pericardium, and then down to the base of the middle finger for your gullet and your heart, okay? Good. And then coming all the way down the middle finger again, just to the center of the palm, and then coming good broad strokes this time out to the fourth finger to take in the liver as well. Coming all the way down again, just for the gullet and the stomach. And then coming across the center of the palm for your pancreas is out by the wee finger, all the way in for your kidneys, the bowel, the large intestine. And then all the way down, applying pressure all the way down, coming down the adrenals, the bladder, the small intestine, on the reproductive system. Just coming all the way down. It's a nice wee one, this, for it's simple to do and to remember. And just starting to get comfy there again. Just getting comfy for our final meditation. Next week, we're going to be doing the Indian head massage for week 6. And I'll update and provide the workbook for everybody for the next 6 weeks then. Just lying. If one side is sorer than the other, it's just that side of the body, okay? So for example, my right side, again, it's to do with the emotions, my right side and that side of the brain would always be tighter. I would store more in that, okay? So yes, drink loads of water after this, Avril, okay? So again, your hand acupressure, any of these treatments is releasing toxins, stimulating the body to work more efficiently. So drink lots and lots of water after this, okay? So just lie back there on your mat or your chair, closing your eyes, and we're going to finish off with our silent meditation. And I'm just going to go at 1 o'clock and you continue on for as long as you need to. And if you are in that place in behind your active mind where everything's quiet and calm and peaceful and beautiful, well, then you just stay there for as long as you need to, okay? Closing your eyes, bringing your awareness to your third eye, just noticing that my hands feel so much lighter after that. They feel almost airy. And again, don't count, don't do anything. Just sit with your mind.